My name is Justin Nix. I went to Jackson Park Elementary School in University City School District, St. Louis, Missouri. First started there in kindergarten.
And you went all the way through?
Yeah, and I went all the way through, yeah.
Okay, so my name is Julian Nix. I went to University City Public Schools. I was in University City all my life.
So what would you say was the racial and economic demographic of your elementary school?
I would say elementary school. Our elementary school is actually pretty diverse. I would say in a typical class, I would probably have about 40% white, 30% black, and 30% interracial. So it was fairly diverse. But as I progressed through school, that of course inevitably changed as I got to high school.
I would say most of us were middle class or lower class. Definitely not many, if any, upper class students that went to U City schools. So I would say most of them are lower middle class.
What was typically served for lunch?
Typically served for lunch. Okay, so we had like an alternating menu. It always changed from day to day, of course. Of course, we had the basics like your white milk and chocolate milk. I always went for the chocolate milk. And we also had those orange juices that was in like the small little canisters that you with the foil on top. It was the nastiest juice, but we used to smash it because it used to be frozen. So it was like dessert and lunch at the same time. But from the day to day, we would probably have like a pasta dish one day, maybe a sloppy Joe. We had this nasty grilled cheese. The cheese tastes like definitely government cheese. It was like rubbery, and I hated those days when we had those.
In middle school, options kind of changed. A lot of students used to just have literally flaming hot Cheetos with everything, and they got the cheese dip from the nacho line, and that's what most people ate. That was a very strong, popular food option to have. Other than that, they also had they had a nacho line where you get nachos with this weird what was supposed to be hamburger meat, but I don't know really whether it was. And then you had the other line that had pizza, and then you had the last line that had different types of, like, basically what you would say home cooked meal style, kind of what we have here at WashU, except just not as tasty.
In general, did you consider the food nutritious or fattening?
I mean, for me, I was always a skinny kid, so any food that I could get, as long as it could keep me going, was the most important. I never really considered whether it was nutritious or not.
I'd say if you ask me what I actually ate, I'd say fattening. Like, of course, they say the options fit the FDA standards for what you need to serve. Technically, there's standards for what you have to serve at public schools. I would say a lot of people didn't select those options.
What was gym class like in elementary school?
Elementary school, well, gym class was important. That's where you became popular. That's where you separated the popular kids from the not popular kids.
Gym class was usually about 30 minutes. We used to spend the first 10 minutes exercising, doing jumping jacks and like different stretches and stuff like that. Having like fitness tests that we had to complete, whether it be how like a broad jump or how many pull-ups you can do. We had to run the mile several times. Just these different, I think Missouri has these different like physical standards or tests that we have to meet in order to go to the next grade. So we used to blow them out the water.